Alright, I wanted to do a 90s tag video. I'm responding to Jughead82. I don't know if anybody else did them. I haven't been paying attention too much lately, so just enough but not too much. So I thought I'd go over some of the things. First question, what's my favorite movie? My favorite movie of the 90s has to be Office Space. That movie is classic, classic, classic. I guess I got addicted to it because I had to see it so much and when I was in college and all of our business courses, they just loved to use Office Space for ethical stuff or for management type things. They always use that damn movie, so I got used to every single line in there. I've seen it like more than a dozen times. I hardly ever watch a movie that many times. My favorite TV show of the 90s has to be Erie, Indiana. It was a show that was, oh my god, it was a show for kids. It kind of combined horror elements, the Twilight Zone, the Outer Limits, and all that other stuff. It took all that and put it into a kids show, and it was, oh my goodness, it was ahead of its time. I swear it had to be way ahead of its time for when it came out. I was like, finally, it's like a kids show that was, man, I don't know how they got away with it, but it was really weird and it was really cool at the same time. I loved that show. My favorite cartoon had to be Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Yep, if your kids aren't old enough to watch Tales from the Crypt on HBO, you can let them watch Tales from the Crypt Keeper on Saturday mornings. It was just as good. My favorite toys from the 90s, oh my goodness, I swear the Turtles were still being made in the 90s, so I have a lot of Turtles toys that were being produced during the 90s. So I have a whole lot of them. They're probably my favorite toy. And of all the Turtles stuff I got, it's all the 90s Turtles stuff I have. I really like it. Probably my favorite toy. I even had like the little airplane that would drop like smoke bombs and stuff. I always loved that one. Now my favorite game of the 90s. Oh my goodness. It's my favorite game of the 90s. And get the cartridge for it. Well, it came on cartridge, CD, and a couple other formats, but Resident Evil 2, probably the most epic game of the 90s. Came out in 98. And I like to think of this as like the crux of 90s gaming. Because when Resident Evil 2 came out, I swear, I had to, that's what got me to get a PlayStation, really, in this game. I didn't even care about Resident Evil 1. I had to play Resident Evil 2, and I think that's what really got me back into gaming, because I had quit after Super Nintendo, and I didn't play games again until I got a PlayStation. And but I must say, Resident Evil 2 is the game that defines the 90s gaming era for me. Finally, it was probably one of the best 3D games that had came out. So it had shooting elements, role-playing, mazes, and everything else. So when I think 90s games, everybody wants to think of Super Nintendo and Sega, but this was a 90s game, and I loved the crap out of it. Resident Evil 2, I love this game. I've owned like several copies of this game in different formats, and I just love Resident Evil 2. It's my favorite game. Favorite game of the 90s, I swear. Resident Evil 3 was good too, but Resident Evil 2 is probably the most epic game. I remember I had to get the strategy guide at one point. It had all the maps and colored photos and stuff. It was my favorite game of the 90s. I like it a tad more than I like Super Metroid. Super Metroid's good. It's pretty good. But in my book, Resident Evil 2 is way better. That's my tag video. And if any of you guys want to get tagged or just reply to it. I'm not going to tag anybody specifically because like everybody else is saying, I don't know who's been tagged and I hate tagging people. So there you guys go.